This is the VIFLY Finder Mini. Now, this is a small battery-backed buzzer alarm for your drones. I'm going to show you how this works, compare it to the larger VIFLY Finder 2, and give you a general rundown of setup instructions. There's a table of contents down in the description below if you want to check out a specific section to do with this model. Now, the VIFLY Finders are extremely simple devices. If your drone goes down and loses battery connection or has a power failure for any reason, the buzzer will keep working off of a battery. The battery is attached to the units, right? Independent of whatever battery you have on your drone. It just works automatically. You have to connect it to either your flight controller or a PWM receiver, but after that, there's really nothing to do. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'm going to connect the little Finder Mini to this servo tester. Okay, I'm going to plug it in. So this will kind of simulate plugging it into a drone with power. I'm going to change the PWM signal width here with the dial. And around 1,500 for the signal width, we get a chirp. And at 2,000, we pretty much have the full force of the buzzer. All right, so now I'm going to disconnect the Mini. And the buzzer senses that power was lost. It's got this very low beeping mode. And this will go on for about 40 seconds. And this is so it doesn't annoy you while you're just trying to change a battery out in the field. It'll sound at maximum loudness every 5 seconds, up to 100 decibels for 30 minutes. Now, as more time passes to conserve power, the loudest beep interval will increase. The total working time is 7 hours, giving you a good window of time to locate your model. Now, you can disarm the buzzer by just plugging a battery in for like 5 seconds and then quickly removing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that 3 beeps indicates that it's been disarmed. Now, this short plug in and remove sequence basically tells the buzzer that the model is not lost and to, quiet down. Now, if you're able to reach the buzzer easily, there's also this little button here that you can press and hold down for a few seconds to stop the beeping as well. And both of the finders work the same way, and they both have a little button on their sides for that purpose. So this comparison chart breaks down the differences between the Finder Mini and the VIFLY Finder 2, but I'm going to highlight some things here to help you choose whether the Mini or the full size is better for you. So the first thing is the loudness. Now, you might think that the Mini is quieter versus the Finder 2, and it's really only a difference of about 10 decibels. The Mini does 100 and the full size does 110. So you're not missing out by much if you choose the Mini. Now, if you're worried about not being able to hear it over the full-size version, I personally couldn't tell the difference between these two. So the Mini is plenty loud. Both of these are really, really loud. Now, the second thing is the working time. Now, with half size of a battery here compared to the full-size version, and it's very visible, the Mini's runtime is going to be 7 hours, while the Finder 2's is 30 hours. Now, 7 hours is still a really, really long time to find your model, but obviously if having the maximum time is important to you, you're going to want to go with the full-size Finder 2. Now, third is the light sensor. Now, the Mini doesn't have a light sensor. What the light sensor does on the Finder 2 is it controls whether the LED flashes or not. This is so it saves your battery because there's no sense with an LED going off if it's in the sunlight, right? So at night, the buzzer will also enter into a sleep mode to try to conserve the power as well. And the Mini just doesn't have this feature at all. I just want to kind of demonstrate how that feature works here real quick. All right, now as you can see, the light is not on, but I'm going to go ahead and cover it with my hands. And there you go. Now the light is on. It sensed that it was dark. So now I'm going to pull my hands off, and the light will no longer be. So yeah, if that little light feature is important to you, again, you might not want to choose the Mini, but you're only going to get that with the full size. Lastly is going to be the weight and the size. Now, the Mini comes in at 2.7 grams, and the Finder is 5 grams. Now, when you're trying to save every last bit of weight, especially on builds where you're trying to get below 250 grams, that's going to matter. Every bit counts, and that's a significant weight reduction. The smaller profile as well makes it a lot easier to fit into a mini quad or very, very tight builds. So the wiring setup is really simple for the Mini and the Finder 2, and it allows for manual control of the buzzer. So all you have to do is simply connect it to your flight controller's buzzer pads. Now, they're usually going to be labeled buzz positive and buzz negative, and I'll show you that on my flight controller here. You can see there's a buzz B+, if you look really close there, B+, and this one is B negative, it's covered. VIFLY includes the cable, and so you want the yellow wire to buzz negative, red wire to buzz positive, and then for your ground, you can just connect it anywhere, and then that's it. You're pretty much done. Now, for beta flight, you want to add the buzzer mode to the modes tab and assign it to a switch on your controller or your transmitter. Now, personally, I like to assign turtle mode to the buzzer on the same switch just to conserve the channels, makes it a little easier. And now you can activate the buzzer on command. I'm going to show you that. This is the button I have it assigned to it on the controller. And look at that, it's beeping on command. And that's how you do beep on command. And now the alarm is beeping a little bit on that low beep mode, and I want to shut that off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds or so. And there you go, now it's disarmed. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's how to use it real world. So let's talk about battery maintenance on the Mini and the Finder 2. Now, the only way to charge and maintain the batteries on these is basically just connect the battery to your model and just let it stay plugged in for a little while, or just regularly fly your model. If you're regularly flying it, that will maintain the battery. Now, the previous versions of the Finder 2 couldn't be stored for long periods of time. So let's say you didn't fly your quad for 6 or 7 months. The batteries were going dead. Now that problem has been resolved. The Mini and the newer shipments of the Finder 2 help to improve upon preventing that problem from occurring, but it's still important to charge this battery a little bit, and VIFLY recommends that you do that every 3 to 4 months because these are small batteries. Now, this one is 80 milliampere hours, the Mini is 40 milliampere hours, and there's always, no matter what you do, a little slow current leakage, so it just pays to plug in it for a little bit every 3 to 4 months just to keep that battery topped off. In conclusion, guys, the VIFLY Finder Mini is a nice little buzzer. I'm already going to use it on this build, actually. I'm going to keep this in here. You know, I don't have a whole lot of room to fit this huge buzzer in there. It was there before, but I'm just going to leave it with the Mini because that'll do me just fine here. And, you know, so yeah, thanks VIFLY for sending it out for me so I could take a look at it and use it, and it gave me the opportunity to share it with you guys, so I really appreciate that. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave me a thumbs up, and remember to like and subscribe. As always, you have a great day. I'm gonna go do some flying.